the La Liga body has decided to introduce a new rule, and this is what they have to say. They said La Liga coaches will be allowed to request for VAR reviews similar to tennis and American football. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, we are all for improving the game. Anything that will come into any intervention that they will bring in that will improve the quality of the game is what I think we all fans are after. Yeah. And if you look at right from the beginning when the VAR was introduced, there have been so many criticisms and all that. But be as it may, the fact remains that it was brought in to improve the game, to improve transparency, to improve, good decisions and all that in the game. Yeah. But it later turned out that we had so many other controversies coming up, controversies. If you reference it to when we previously had no VAR, so the controversies were even more than when we had no VAR. So I think it's a good step for La Liga to come up with this. And what I think one of the reasons why they brought this was as a result of pressure from clubs like Real Madrid and all that. Throughout last season, I think even the referee committees.
But people are saying that this thing was introduced because VAR favors Real Madrid more than any other team in La Liga.
The thing is that arguments like this, I mostly don't like diving into them because every club, especially a big club, gets favored one way or the other from refereeing decisions. That is just the reality. That's sometimes the referee decisions favor you, sometimes it doesn't favor you. When you look at the teams like Barcelona, teams like so some other teams in the Premier League, maybe Arsenal. I think Arsenal had 1 or 2 complaints in the Premier League too last season. So Liverpool the same thing. So one way or the other, sometimes it favors you, sometimes it doesn't favor you. I could remember some time ago when I was watching one of Barca's games. There was this, during that the Xavi Iniesta era, there was a time where the ball was already out, but I think Iniesta had to cross it in and he scored. It was clearly out, but because there was no VAR and everything, and if there was VAR as at then, maybe that goal wouldn't have counted or something like that. So there are so many decisions, and there are so many. If you look at the Chelsea-Barcelona game some time ago, if you look at the Madrid Bayern Munich game in the Champions League, where some people said Ronaldo scored 2 offside goals and all that. So when you look at, there are so many decisions that whether I like it or not, it favors. In fact, not even big teams, it favors teams. So, and we can argue back and forth. People can argue back and forth. Madrid fan can stand for his team. Barca fan can stand for his team. But in the end, whether you like it or not, both sides enjoy from the refereeing, decisions.
Okay, and so again, okay, keep going.
Okay, let me just ponder on this. I think last season when Madrid was complaining seriously about refereeing decisions, about some issues with selection of referees and all that, I think one of the teams that came out and shouted and was saying that they are okay with the referee decisions was Barca and Atletico Madrid. And then we saw in the FIFA Club World Cup, Atletico Madrid was furious about the referees. They had to even come out to complain. And so many people were like coming out to say, okay, so you people are the same people that are saying that Madrid are complaining about the referees. So what I'm trying to say is that in the end, when it favors you, you keep quiet. When it doesn't favor you, you complain. That is the reality of the human nature. That is just the reality.
Okay, and the rule is saying that. Let me read it out. They said according to the new rule, each coach will be entitled to a maximum of 2 review requests per match. If the coach's challenge is deemed correct, meaning the referee made a mistake and VAR corrected the decision, the team will retain both of its review opportunities. However, if the referee rejects the challenge or finds no clear error, the team will lose one of its allowed attempts. Do you understand what they're saying here?
Yeah, I understand. And
if you request for a review and you get your decision right as a referee, as a coach, you still have your 2 attempts left. But if everything is wrong, you lose it. You lose
Yeah,
one.
in as
You
much
just
as
have one.
in as much as they are trying to improve the whole VAR thing, but what this rule is telling us is still telling us that the final decision still rests on the referee. So if the referee decides to give you, fine. And this is what has been happening over the years with VAR. You know, VAR will call the referee and tell him, okay, come and review it, and the referee has the final say. So it's still, one thing that they are trying to run away from is the fact that human error must just count. That human, because the people that are sitting on the VAR, they are humans. The person that is left with the final decision on the VAR is still a human, is a referee. So in the end, if the referee, if the referee is biased, or if the referee has maybe kind of, how should I put it? If the referee maybe kind of resent towards maybe the other team one way or the other or something, he still won't favor that decision. So that is just what they're trying to tell us here. And it's still the same thing. I think last
You
season
don't
there
see
was,
this new rule putting you don't see this new rule putting pressure on the referee. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think they're just, it's just another way. They just found another way to like still tell us that the referees still are in charge. The referees should still make. They are just trying to give us that forewarning that the referees will still maybe continue with the mistakes that they keep on making. Because I don't understand. I don't see any reason why you say, okay, that the coaches have 2 appeals to make. So if a coach now decided that, okay, Mr. Referee, or he tells the assistant on the touchline that tell your referee to come and review so decision, and then the referee comes and reviews the decision, and then he feels that decision is not enough to award a penalty or for a red card, and then that means automatically you lose your first appeal, and then you have another, let's say you have another altercation or another decision that you feel it should be reviewed, and then you ask the referee to come out and review the decision again, and then the referee comes and reviews and he feels that, okay, this one too is not, it doesn't warrant a red card or a penalty or any strong decision. That means you lose both of your appeals, and subsequently in the game, if there's another clear handball maybe in the net, in the box, and the referee decides not to blow against it, that means you can no longer appeal. You just keep quiet and allow it to happen. So I still don't
No,
think,
I think
I still don't think
what they are trying to say is that if you as a coach don't agree to some kind of decisions, you can appeal. But that doesn't mean that if there is a critical decision in the match, VAR will not intervene.
So I understand. But sometimes there are decisions where you see that VR will not intervene, and maybe probably it's because of the pressure from the players and the coach that will make the referee to like say, okay, let me review the situation, let me look at the situation and all that. So what they are trying to tell us now is that if you fail in your 2 attempts, then you can no longer make the coach can no longer protest any decision. You just allow, if the VAR refuse to, if the VAR feel that the decision is no longer something they will look at, then you should just let it go. You will not say anything. You just keep quiet and let the game. So one way or the other, I think, I doubt if other leagues are going to, because I feel that, I think in the statement, Laliga was saying that they feel that other competitions will also copy from them, from this, this new decision that they decided to allow and all that. But I believe everybody will be watching. Everybody will look at it. I doubt if Premier League or other teams will kind of adopt this decision. I doubt. But let's just watch and see.
Premier League, there's always
But
big
the thing is that there's always controversy. So
controversy. They will not.
two
I don't see them adopting this.
two turn down two turn down appeals is not enough, because in a match you can have 5 to 6 controversial decisions in a match. So, and if the referee decides to turn down 2 of your appeals, then you can no longer appeal for any decision. I don't think it makes sense. I think La Liga, just like I said, La Liga is La Liga's way of shielding their referees. La Liga's way of telling the club to, like, after your 2 decisions, shut up, we don't talk again. And then if we talk, we will be able to sue you or something. No, so
Yellow
so
card.
and I yeah, so I doubt if a club like Real Madrid will keep quiet. That's just maybe the other teams will keep quiet, but Real Madrid will not keep quiet. That Real Madrid team will continue to air wrong decisions, will continue to talk about referee decisions in as much as it doesn't favor them. So that is just
All right, Hamisu, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you next time.
thank you very much.